Well, when you put a plan together, and this is year 4 of playing in this conference, you get excited because you tried to put a plan together. And in this conference, you better win up front, whether it's on the offensive line and defensive line. And to see how we've grown in a year since we last played, I think it was November 18th against a league opponent, and see, did we get any better up front? Because we're playing against a blue blood, Northern Iowa. They playoffs, league champs. They've been there. They've recruited well. They've developed offensive linemen that get drafted. So for us, 2 years ago when we went in there, it wasn't even close. And just to see the growth that we made, and excited to see that on Saturday.
Coach, Northern Iowa is one of a handful of teams that play in a dome stadium. As a team that plays outdoors, what are some of the things that you work on in practice to get ready for a domed stadium?
Well, fortunately for us, we got our own little dome in the Watts Center. And, we spent a lot of time there in the spring. Spring football, we don't get great weather in the spring, so we're in there a lot. We went in there today, and, provides us just to deal with the elements. Their crowd can get you. I think we started the last time we played there, the ball was on the 1 or 2 yard line coming out, and we probably had an offside. So, working on those pre-snap penalties, that maybe the crowd noise, because the crowd noise there will be louder than Ohio State. So to be able to go into our own indoor and be able to work the crowd noise and be able to work that communication with our guys so that you can eliminate the miscommunication that can happen. Now, when our defense is on the field, it's quiet. I could probably talk to the person across the field 10 rows up, So the defense kind of hates it when we do crowd noise because it's quiet on the field when they're playing. But, they understand the importance for us of just being able to execute in that type of environment.
How important would you say Saturday is opening up hockey play on the road?
I mean, every game's important. I mean, I going to be forthright. Every game is important. But this is what you work for. We don't work for the non-league. The non-league, we kind of figure out who we are. But when these kids started January 8th, and we're in the weight room, and with spring football, it's to play this schedule, no matter who you're playing. Okay, people can say, well, you're at North. In this league, you got to have your mindset ready to play each and every Saturday. And again, it evaluates the plan that you put together. Do you have the horses up front? Do you have the skill positions in the secondary and at wide receiver? Do you have the quarterback that can lead you? And you're recruiting. Everything you do is to prepare for this league. And I love it when they say pressure is a privilege. And so I hope our kids feel pressure because it's a privilege because there's expectations on them from not only their teammates, from their coaching staff. So for me, every Saturday is going to be a pressure-packed game, and we take that as a privilege. And you got to thrive in those situations.
Like, I know it's just talk, but obviously, YSU was not one there. Most of these kids weren't even born last night. Do you talk about that?
Yeah, you talk just that. That tells you it's a difficult place to go play and win. I'm sure there's games where YSU had the opportunity to win and didn't finish. You look at the college football landscape, or you even watch NFL, which we never get time to. On a bye week, yeah, you might have saw end of a drive here or there. And it's inches. It's about teams getting one more first down and not putting their defense back on the field to win or lose a football game. It's about time management. It's about everything comes down to that fourth quarter, every situation. And you try to check your boxes. You try to have that football IQ and to understand that when you get in a game, there's going to be different things that happen. How do you handle when everything's not going right? I told you I wanted to evaluate our kids these first 3 games when things don't go right on the field because really that's their true character. We're able to see that. And there's a lot of things we had to clean up since we played Robert Morris. Had to clean up penalties, had to clean up our pass defense. We have to clean up that we got to affect the quarterback offensively, the pre-snap penalties, We got to be able to sustain drives. We got to score in the red zone. We got to complete balls downfield. Those are the things that you continually to work at. And what's fun about football, it just takes one guy. You play with 11, it takes one guy in the field to have a miscommunication, not do his job, and it's not a good play. And so you work and practice each and every day so that when you get to Saturday, it all comes together, offense, defense, and special teams. And I've yet to see that. I told you that last year. I've yet to see that from our young men who I'm proud of and I love. But I've yet to see us put together 4 quarters of football where we see offense, defense, and special teams all playing complementary football. And that's always the goal of a head coach. Our guys play with great effort, and I'm proud of that.
Coach, you mentioned pass defense. How important is it to get Quincy London back in the lineup?
I mean, Quincy's a leader. He's 2-time captain. His leadership out there, his demeanor, how he prepares for a game, for us. And I'm proud of how he handled it. It's not easy sitting on the sidelines when you're completely healthy and can't play a football game. And I'm proud of how he handled it. He came down, got Scout Team Player of the Week, was able to help those younger guys understand the importance. For us to win, everybody in this program is as important as the guy that's starting. And that starts with your scout team. That starts with trainers. That starts with, and our kids are understanding that it's bigger than you, that everything that you go out on the field on a given practice day. And that's where a guy like Quincy has helped develop that and what he does in that locker room. So for me, I'm excited to see one back on the field. And for us, it helped because we had to move a lot of different pieces. I mean, we moved Troy Jakubek, played corner. He played 56 snaps or whatever against Ohio State playing safety and corner. Well, now he can just focus on corner. Jalen Castleberry moving from safety to corner to Sam linebacker. We're moving a lot of pieces, but in the long run, it gave those kids a better understanding, a higher football IQ, that we can move those guys around if needed, but it just now solidifies our safety with the guys we rotate at safety and who we rotate at corner and who we rotate at Sam.
Just talk about what you've seen on film from you and I and what impressed you the most about them.
Yeah, well coached, 23 years. Mark Farley's a great coach. I think he got his 175th win, a couple weeks ago, I think. I thought I saw that. But great coach, great program. They win. They send guys to the NFL. They're a developmental program, so they know how to get guys and get them big, get them strong. You give them a bye week, they're going to be ready. I think his record after a bye week's 14-6. So that tells you they have great coaches. Again, big, physical, okay, and they play mistake-free football. He'll be the first one to say when they don't have success, just like some of us when we don't have success, you either have penalties or you're turning the ball over. And they work each and every day to make sure they don't do those things.
Now, you and I quarterback Theo Day, the guy who played a lot of football.
Mm-hmm.
And, what have you seen from him on the film that you guys have to kind of do in order to slow down his effect?
Well, he's high sufficient quarterback last year. And he can make every throw. He can be on his back foot, flip the wrist on this hash, and hit a guy right over the shoulder. Kind of remind me of Levis from Kentucky, where you got great coverage on him. You're running side by side, and that ball just comes right to the open shoulder. And I think he can make all those throws. He's experienced, and, he's a pocket guy. He can get out. He can run, but he wants to throw the ball downfield. And they got great receivers. Sam Schnee's a big-time receiver for him who has great speed. So, they're explosive in that category.
Do you feel your team is kind of refreshed? I mean, I know it's an open week from last week. They had an open week. But can you kind of sense
They better wake up running every day, Dana. Refresh. You know what? This is an 11-week ride. They better wake up, and they have their days where they get off. And each and every day, I always say, you better be running. To say that you're going to be 100% during the course, no. You're going to be sore. You're going to beat up. And guess what? You got to get yourself ready to play. For me, a bye week, I'm more of routine. I'd rather just keep playing. But we try to utilize that bye week to get better at the things, break tendencies, find young kids that we see in the future that maybe going to help us week 6, 7, or 8. So it gives you a chance to evaluate that. But, mentality wise, they better come with the mindset every day. They better wake up running, and they got to come. Again, I said this the other day. If I asked our kids, what have you earned? Nothing. We've earned absolutely nothing. Each and every day, you got to go out and earn it. I think that's the Youngstown way. And you playing these league games, it's not going to be easy. You saw that last year when you go on the road. I don't know how many games we had to come back and win on the road, but it's not easy. You got to go earn it each and every week, and it's what you do during the week of practice and your preparation. And then on Saturday, you better have the mindset to start fast and to finish.
Talk a lot about you got only 11 opportunities, throughout the season. But when you refer to certain teams, rightfully so is blue blood, the teams that are at the top. These opportunities, I would assume, are bigger opportunities to really establish who you are.
Yeah. If Northern Iowa is 7-4 next year, guess where they're going? That's reality. Right now, that's reality. And, our kids understand that. For us, we don't have a lot of leeway to be able to make mistakes. We talked about the pressure. Now, that's a privilege because we have certain expectations, but for us, that's where those teams have established themselves. Yeah, Youngstown State has great tradition. Go back to the 90s. But recently, last 5 years, no. So again, every day you got to go earn that. And I think in Northern Iowa, they have that. People have respect for them. They're going to vote them in the polls because guess what? They've earned it. They've earned it the last 23 years plus. Even in the 90s, I still remember going there, 92 playoff game. That was a battle. So you watch games that are played in the Dome. Go watch the South Dakota State against Northern Iowa last year. They beat South Dakota State, which they had to kick a field goal to win. They're going playoffs because they beat the number 1 team in the country. And it took South Dakota State on the last player. You watched Illinois State, and you want to talk physicality? Watch those games, and you'll see what the Missouri Valley Football Conference stands for. And for us, it's, okay, did we get ready? Did we put a plan together to get bigger, get stronger? And now we get to measure it. We went there 2 years ago, and it was embarrassing. And I put that on my shoulders, and I had to develop a better plan, throw that out. And we had to get bigger and stronger. So, that's why you play these games on Saturday. That's why these 8 games that we have starting the Missouri Valley. And guess what? We got to go on the road. We got to play in the Unidome, someplace they haven't won since 99. But we got to focus on what we can control, and that's the effort, the attitude, and the execution offensively, defensively, and special teams.
Coach, did you learn something from this team in the first 3 games of the year that you may not have realized?
We've grown. We have. From a year ago, and you always got to say where you were and where you are right now. We're definitely not where we need to be, not even close. But we have definitely grown from where we are. Maturity-wise, I told you, I think we have an experienced team because a lot of these kids have played a lot of football. But I wanted to see a mature team, and I'm starting to see that. And I see it when things don't go right. I want to see how our defensive sideline is after we give up a bad touchdown. I want to see what our offense on the sideline happens, maybe after a turnover or a 3-and-out. Or special teams. And those are the areas that, I see a complete different team than what we've had. And I think that's where the growth and maturity has come from. Do we have to eliminate the penalties? We do. And I want our kids to play as fast and as aggressive as they possibly can. But we cannot have post-whistle penalties come back to kill you. A game this Saturday, I don't know, what was it? Virginia and who was it? Virginia and North Carolina State. You want to talk about an ugly game of penalties that take you away from winning. And in this league, the discipline is what wins you games against those teams, against the Northern Iowa, South Dakota State, North Dakota State. You better have great discipline. And the one thing we told our kids, and we'll keep, check your feelings at the door and, come and do your job and execute.